Hi, this is the Door and Signal channel, and we're going to hook up gas line here to a new stove. So we got a new gas line from Homeless Despot. This is 1/2 inch, and the back side of the the stove is 5/8. So and this has all the connectors and stuff in here. Your connectors may vary, but that's what we got here. I also bought some extra stuff here too. This pipe dope. A lot of people like the tape, the Teflon tape and that, which that's fine too, but I prefer this, this pipe dope stuff. You just have to read it and make sure that it's okay for natural gas. This one is, it says, this thing doesn't focus very well. There it is, natural gas. So depending on what you're using, but most of them I think are good for natural gas, but you want to make sure that it's good. We'll just pull it out of the bag here. Even if you have a used stove that you're putting in, you should always get a new one of these because they can get little pinholes in them, and just from moving them and that, it's just good practice to buy a new one. They're not that expensive, and you really don't want to fool too much around with the gas. So here's one of the connectors that'll go in here, and that'll tighten it up. Actually, I'm going to do that without this on it. That way I just don't tweak it or flex it. You also need some tools too. So just a wrench, some pliers, tighten that up, put some pipe dope on here. It's got one of those stupid little, now I gotta find something to punch that. Okay, so when you put it on here, you want to get it into the threads really well. So as you're screwing it in, it'll fill in the threads and that. So, get that going here. Now you just want to keep turning this here until it's tight. There we go. Okay, and then we'll probably do the same with this side on the stove side. So we'll take you over here, do that next. Alright, this has a connector on it from the old one already. I'm going to pull this off and put the new connector on. You probably could leave this, but I know when I took the old one off, this did back out a little bit, and as you can see, this already has Teflon tape, so I don't know the seal. I probably could reuse this, but since it's brass and I have a new one, it just seems like good practice to switch it out, use the new one. When you pull it out here too, you just want to make sure that it's the same threads. If it's not the same threads, by all means reuse this, but you want to put some new Teflon tape or the pipe dope on it. There we go. So, look at both of these here. It looks like the threads are identical, so I'm just going to go ahead and use a new one. The other thing you can do if you're not sure and they look similar, you can line up the threads and fit them in one another. I don't know if I can show you. And then see if they spin on one another. If they do, then you know they're the same thread count. But they're pretty much the same connector. One's brass, one's stainless steel. But since I got the new ones, I'm just going to put that in. Just get some more pipe dope here. Oh no. When you're using the wrench too, try not to mar the threads up on here. It shouldn't be too hard to do though, just to avoid the threads there, because you'll need the threads to hook up the pipe. Get it closer. Alright, that feels pretty good. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is move the stove into position. This one, you know, depending on how much room you have, is the length you'll need on this one. This one's a 48-inch pipe, which should be enough to get from the pipe coming out of the floor into the back of that. You might need a longer one, you might need a shorter one, but I think 48 inches is probably a healthy medium. That way, if you want to clean behind the stove, you have enough room to pull the stove out and get behind it. I think they make slightly longer ones, but for my application, this one's long enough. So I'm going to move the stove and get it into position. Alright, this is probably the best shot I could get you. There's the pipe over here, and then the connectors down here. I'm going to have to use the pipe to open the tools here to get it in there. So since these connectors are both the same size, let's hook up the gas here first. Just you want to be cautious when you're tightening the pipes that they don't spin too much on you. That's why you want to use two, so you can prevent the pipe from unthreading on one of the threads. Okay, and you don't really want to make kinks in the pipe too, just to prevent, you know, pinholes and whatnot in here. And I mean, once you have it connected up here, you want to spray it with a little bit of soapy water once you turn the gas on to make sure you don't have any leaks. Or you can listen. Listening's not as good, but you can hear if you have any kind of major leak. But spraying it with soapy water is the best way. Check to make sure you don't have any leaks. I'm going to have to get some soapy water and do that, but I think my installation looks pretty solid here, but I'm going to check it with some soapy water off camera. Other than this, plugging it into the wall and seeing if you have gas is the last step. Alright, now we're going to have the moment of truth here. There it is. It took a little bit for the gas to go all the way through the lines. That's why it took a while to turn on. But as you can see, there's blue flame. Good to go. Thanks for watching.